Wow, you spoke and they heard you. If you had a gripe about Diablo 2 Resurrected, they probably fixed it. So the developers of Diablo 2 Resurrected always said they wanted to make the game as true and authentic to the original game as possible. And in order to do that, they requested feedback from the community, people just like you, in order to make sure they stuck to that goal. A lot of people might just go ahead and say something like that, but I'm happy to tell you today, they definitely stuck to that mantra, and they're coming out today with a blog post here saying all the changes that they made from the original Diablo 2 Resurrected technical alpha till today. These changes can be broken down into 3 different categories. There are the visuals, quality of life changes, and then just kind of miscellaneous changes to make the game better. Now, let's get after it. So the first visual effects they decided to tackle was the lightning skill for the sorceress. I personally didn't think this was a big issue, I thought it looked fine, but they decided to make it more of a white hue instead of it was a little bit more bluish, I guess, and they made the lightning bolt a little bit wider just to give it a little bit more forceful look behind it. And of course, to make it look more like the original effect from regular Diablo 2. So the next one they decided to tackle was Blizzard, and in my opinion this is one of the ones that was the most important to alter to get it more like the original game and just to make it look a little more forceful. From the Diablo 2 Resurrected technical alpha, it kind of looked like, I don't know, someone was sprinkling some fairy dust down on the enemies. But as you can see from the comparison that I'm playing here from Diablo 2 Resurrected technical alpha, and then the current version of Diablo 2 Resurrected, they definitely made it look a lot more powerful. On top of that, they kind of added the angle coming down like it's an actual blizzard storm. You know, the wind will blow the snow and ice, not coming down in a straight line, but more on an angle. And it looks like it's just hitting the ground with a lot more power. So the next one on the list that they decided to tackle was the Holy Freeze aura for the Paladin, and I would also of course assume that this would be the Holy Freeze aura for the Act 2 Nightmare Defensive Mercenary. They didn't have any visuals of this on the website, no pictures or video, but they said that they made it look more wispy, which they also said looked more like the original, and I'll have to take their word on that one. I personally don't remember there being a real problem with it from the Diablo 2 Resurrected technical alpha. This next one here is a very good change in my opinion. They changed the way that the cold looks on monsters along with how the poison looks on monsters, and this was one of the most glaring problems with Diablo 2 Resurrected. The cold gave the monsters like a teal color, and the poison green color that monsters would get just didn't exactly look quite right. So right here is a few pictures that they posted along with the blog post, and you can tell the cold looks way better. This is spot on with what everybody kind of expected the cold to look like. Unfortunately, they didn't include any of the poison pictures along with this post. So there also is a quick animation update. It's something that I didn't notice with the technical alpha, but apparently the mana globes, when they would fill up after you took potions, they didn't exactly match up with the actual mana and health going up. So they actually lined up the animations and the actual numbers so that would be better represented. So for another visual update, they boosted up the colors and brightness of a lot of things like scrolls and charms and a lot of the items to make them really pop on the screen so you could see them a lot more clearly. For the first example here, we've got a healing potion. So they got it from Diablo 2 to the Diablo 2 Resurrected Alpha, and then now to what the Diablo 2 Resurrected looks like now. As you can see, the Diablo 2 Resurrected Alpha, the color's real washed out. I'm not really sure why they went that route, but with the new one here, you can see it looks just like the old one, but much brighter and much crisper. Now I'll move on to the gems. I didn't really think there was much problems with the gems. Personal opinion only. I know a lot of other people didn't like the way some of the gems looked, but they updated those slightly here to, in their opinion, make them look a little bit better. Now we'll look at the skulls, and just as it was before Diablo 2, the Alpha, and then the current Diablo 2 Resurrected. And this is actually funny, this is in one case and the one and only case, where actually I think the technical Alpha skulls looked better than they upgraded them to. That's just my opinion, not really that big a deal. Now I'll move on down here where they have large charms, they have a bow, and they have a Paladin Shield. You can see how they kind of changed them quite a bit as regards to the bow especially, but the shield looks a lot more like it did in the original. They changed the hue of like the blue or teal or whatever color that is. And you can see the large charm they changed just ever so slightly. Instead of having it like more upright, it's a little more tilted over, and I would suspect that maybe that would look different when it's in your actual inventory. You'd really be able to tell a difference. So now we'll move on to the next section here, the quality of life changes. They already had many good quality of life changes, from whether it was things like the auto gold pickup, or when you're shopping at a vendor you could just click the button and reset the inventory of that vendor so you wouldn't have to keep exiting and coming back and stuff like that. But they listened to all your feedback and they added even more quality of life changes to this to make the game even better. So the first thing here in this section is actually something that I am ecstatic about. Everybody always hated holding down that Alt key forever in order to see the items because you literally held it down all of the time. Well, you won't have to do that no more because now they're adding a toggle in the settings in order to have items showing all the time. Just like the last quality of life change, here's another one that I'm super happy about, and that is they're absolutely confirming and locking into an exact number. You are going to get not one, not two, but 3 shared stash pages for your account. And that goes along with each character getting 1 personal stash page. On top of that, each one of these stash pages is going to be 100 squares. So that's a ton more spaces to save items. So gone are the days of you dropping an item on the ground and coming back in the hopes that it's still there, but oops, some reason Battle.net kicked you out and now you lost your items. That will never happen again. So then there's also that compare item tool that used to pop up on every single item. Now in Diablo 2 Resurrected, you will be able to toggle that off. That was one thing that I kind of thought was annoying because if you're a Diablo 2 veteran that's been playing non-stop for years here, you don't really need that item compare tool, and it was just a waste of space on the screen. But now, with one click of a button, you don't have to see that no more. So some of the people playing the technical alpha noticed that they changed the color of the mini-map, and at some points, the map was this color of brown that blended right in with a lot of the stuff that you've seen on Act 2. They did make a change to that, changing up the color and the look of the minimap a little bit to make that more visible to the players. There was some confusion and some people didn't really like the way the minimap worked in the alpha, so I decided to switch that up so there's just a regular minimap with 3 different settings: right mini, left mini, and then full screen center. I'm personally a full screen center type of guy, but this will pretty much accommodate what everybody's looking to have. So the Diablo 2 Resurrected team is definitely listening to the feedback, so head down in the comments and let me know if there's anything you think that they still missed and they still need to update. How they're scouring over these community posts and stuff, I would not be surprised if they saw it. Before you go, make sure you destroy that like button and subscribe up, and hopefully check out some of the other YouTube videos. I also want to mention I do actually stream live right here on this YouTube channel, so if you subscribe up and get that bell notification set to all, you'll be notified when I go live. It's a real fun community. Hopefully I see you there. So peace out, YouTube. Hopefully I catch you in the next video. And don't forget, keep slaying.